Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I cover nostalgic, obscure, otherwise strange content. So for the past 2 months, the Writers Guild of America has been on strike due to unfair pay, the threat of being replaced by AI, as well as other things. Issues with residual pay due to the way that streaming works versus the way that traditional cable TV works. And shortly after it leaks that studio executives were simply trying to wait the union members out, figuring that they'd start losing their homes come October and therefore they wouldn't have to budge and, pay them any fair wages or promise not to give their job to a robot, the Screen Actors Guild, SAG if you will, jumped into the fight just a few days ago as of recording this video. And so now both unions are on strike. The two biggest unions in the film and TV industry are striking, pretty much halting all film and TV production, period. This happened a few years ago when the literal plague happened and forced everybody to be on kind of an unelected strike. I remember I was working on set full-time back then. This time, there is no actual plague. There is only billionaire corporations, which, while not technically a plague, still sucks. If you've been watching me for any amount of time, you probably know that I worked in the film industry for over 5 years before working from home and editing as well as doing this kind of thing. And you definitely know, or at least I hope you do, that I vehemently support unions. And so I wanted to talk about this a little bit. It's in my wheelhouse, trust me, because I'm someone who has been a set worker in film and TV, and now I'm a content creator online. And while set workers have been sacrificing so much to stand up for themselves and fair wages and fair treatment at work for themselves and their families, social media influencers have been asked to do just the bare minimum. And some of them can't even do that. So to the best of my knowledge, the last time both of these unions were on strike together, it was 1960. I shouldn't have to mention, they didn't have the internet back then. They had recently just discovered a polio vaccine. They were just doing the best that they could. Content creators were not even a concept last time. But this time they are. In fact, I didn't know this, but 2 years ago, the Screen Actors Guild actually developed a separate contract so that social media creators, influencers, I hate using the word influencer, you know what I mean, content creators, internet personalities, they could actually be signed to the union as a content creator on the internet. Separate set of benefits, separate set of rules, but still unionized. Real quick, the thing about being in the industry is that whether or not you are part of the union, you should adhere to the union rules. Meaning, if the union is on strike, for example, like they are now, and you're an actor who's not part of the union, you should not, according to the union, take acting gigs or go out for auditions because that's crossing a picket line. And as much as it sucks, there's a reason why they're striking. They're trying to get fair accommodations. Now, I believe it was a couple days after SAG went on official strike and handed down those rules to the unionized actors, that there was some confusion surrounding what social media creators should do. Should they pause creating content? Should they carry on business as usual? And so because of all this confusion, there was false information going around. So eventually, the Screen Actors Guild issued official instructions for social media creators on what to do to support the actors in the union on strike, whether or not we ourselves are unionized. They made it clear up front that they did not expect, nor were they asking us to stop content creation, but they did make sure that social media creators knew that they weren't allowed to take any work, specifically promotional work, from said studios, which to me is pretty self-explanatory, right? The actors are on strike. They've stopped promotion of their movies, those of them who have big summer blockbusters coming out. In case you didn't know, walking the red carpet and giving interviews and promoting your movie is work. It's not a vacation. It's something that they are contractually obligated to do by the studio so that the studio can market the movie, and they have gone on strike and ceased working. And the union knows enough to know that greedy corporations greedy studios will go running directly to online creators to pay them a sum of money to basically do the promotion that the actors won't, so that it won't hurt them as much. So obviously, if we took that work, it would be undermining what the union is doing, because it would allow the corporations to continue making product while the strike was going on. You'd be crossing a picket line. They also asked any of us that has any kind of significant following online to not post about new and upcoming movies, whether it be organic or not, just since the mere mention of it could work as free publicity for these studios, which I hadn't even thought of, and I wish I had known before I mentioned the new Barbie movie in my newest video, but I was able to link via an info card on that video the cast of Barbie talking about why the strike is so important, and I encourage you to watch that. To be clear, consumers are not being asked to boycott movies, TV shows, streaming services, or anything as of right now. The last I heard was that union members were actually worried that doing that would actually devalue the work that they've done and actually end up hurting their case with studios, so don't feel like you have to skip out on seeing movies. But just so you're aware, you're not going to see any more Barbie movies or anything that could be tied back to a current upcoming summer film from me until this whole thing gets settled. It's a process. We've never been in this situation before, just like as an entertainment industry, so it's kind of a day-by-day figure it out sort of thing. But some people are really, really not helping. You remember how I said that it seemed pretty obvious to me that taking paid work from any studio right now, if you're a content creator, would be crossing the picket line just by basic definition of what crossing a picket line means? Well, some content creators really do not understand that concept. A content creator that I used to love and follow quite extensively on TikTok, Straw Hat Goofy, who does movie reviews and things of that nature, made a 3-video series on his TikTok account talking about how he was not going to stop taking brand deals because he wasn't part of the union, and this was not his fight. One of them was a skit where he was pretty brazen about it, which he eventually took that particular one down because the comments were not welcoming to that idea, because why would it be? If the employees at your favorite pizza parlor were all boycotting to teach their greedy boss a lesson about paying them fairly, and you and a bunch of other people went, well, we'll actually do their job for less money, that's not going to help the big greedy business boss learn anything. That's actually going to be teaching him the wrong thing, and you're not helping those workers at all. My personal favorite example of somebody being so oblivious to what's going on right now in the industry was this girl on TikTok who accepted a sponsorship to promote the new Haunted Mansion movie, a movie which had to have just actual Disney characters walking their red carpet when they premiered last Friday, I guess, because all of the actors in their star-studded cast are striking. So this TikToker sees an opportunity to take a brand deal, and does, and posts a TikTok lip-syncing to none other than Fran Drescher on The Nanny.
Okay, I'm ready.
Fine, now let's go.
Fine, I need gorgeous. I'm changing.
And that's pretty ironic for a couple of reasons. One being, The Nanny had a very, very pro-union episode back in the day that was pushed for by Fran Drescher, the star of The Nanny, because of her pro-union stance. We're going to be getting into that video today. I promise I won't just be ranting at you for this entire video. But the irony gets even crazier when you realize that, and honestly, I did not know this until very recently, but Fran Drescher, the same Fran Drescher from The Nanny, is literally the president of SAG. This girl took a brand deal in the wake of a double union strike, crossed a picket line, and did so by lip-syncing to the head of one of the unions that's actively on strike. That was not a good move. And hey, I haven't heard anything else about this situation other than that. I want to believe that it's something more well-intentioned, like she already had a contract that she had to fulfill before they went on strike, or she was somehow naive to the situation and just didn't know. But regardless of that, I want to talk about this episode of The Nanny because I am just now learning, just this week, how much work Fran Drescher has done for the unions, and I just want an excuse to talk about the Nanny. Because I love the Nanny. The Nanny is wholesome. This episode is just called The Strike. Clips of it have been circulating around TikTok, so you might have seen it this past few days because of this whole situation. IMDb and Max, because if you didn't remember, they aren't HBO Max anymore, can't seem to agree on what episode number this episode actually is. Max has it as Season 2, Episode 11, and IMDb has it as Season 2, Episode 13. So, one of them is wrong, but it is a Season 2 episode, and I'm just gonna hit play on this bad boy.
God save the Queen.
Later, she's always the moment, isn't she? If you don't know anything about this show, it was a 90s sitcom that was pretty popular about this woman, Fran, the nanny, who is a Jersey girl through and through, who loses her job and ends up working as a nanny for this very posh, wealthy family that consists of the children she's caring for and their widower father, who is like an English playwright or play producer. I don't think he wrote the plays, but I haven't seen the show in a while. Sorry.
I don't look too much like a roll of Lifesavers?
Yes, but the flavor goes on and on.
This is the very posh but very snarky butler. The dress is so shiny, it kind of looks like, and I mean this very affectionately, it kind of looks like in middle school when everybody was obsessed with making things out of duct tape, but she's rocking it, because the nanny can rock anything.
A musical adaptation of Norma Ray, produced by Maxwell Sheffield and Cece Boopka.
Oh yeah, he is a producer. He's a producer along with this lady who's unbearable and totally in love with him, and he does not care about her at all.
I proofread this ad copy myself, and then I gave it to Niles to send to the messenger.
Niles.
Who would have thought that I would love a musical about a union organizer solely in need of dress shields? But I'll tell you, I'm still humming the sweatshop number.
Ah, yes. Every musical has the I Want song, the showstopper, the boring song that everybody skips on the soundtrack, and the sweatshop number. God.
Those 3 hours and 15 minutes flew by like 3 hours and 10.
As somebody who's watching a half-hour episode on 2x speed to film this right now, that sounds excruciating.
I know my whole family is gonna see it. We're union workers from way back.
So Fran's excited about this play because her whole family is union strong. Good for them. Super bass, the show.
Come on, don't you want to hobnob with celebrities?
Miss Fine, I've been to scores of these, and as yet no one has hobbed my knobs.
Oh, I'm sorry?
The Flashy Girl from Flushing!
A nanny named Fran.
Oh, honey, that is entirely too revealing. Go put it back in my closet.
Fran's like, you can dress however you want when you're not a child, Missy. I hope to one day be the kind of mother that Fran is to these kids. She's very kind and nurturing and affirming of their feelings, but also just very real with them, and I love that.
Besides, tonight's your father's big opening night. What if you got stuck in traffic? Then you'd miss the whole thing.
I'm not that lucky.
Ugh, that's gotta suck to be a kid and be dragged to a over 3-hour play just because your dad is paying for it.
Could I go to the mall with Kyle?
I don't know. What does Miss Fine say?
Well, you see, she was kind of leaning towards no.
Damn, he played the old go to the other parental figure when one of them doesn't say what you want them to say.
Yes! Today.
She's like, fuck it, your ass is grounded.
I couldn't resist the infomercial. Unwanted dirt just slides right off.
This show still makes me laugh. Holy shit.
I have to pick up my dress from the cleaners anyway.
I wonder if she just threw them, like turned around and threw them as soon as she was off camera, or if there was like a PA standing there ready to like chuck them. But either way, very funny.
He made it perfectly clear you'd already said no.
Oh, well then I take it back. We don't have a little problem. We've got a big problem.
So Mr. Sheffield has picked the wrong time to fuck with Fran and overturn her decisions. So I'm afraid for his life, actually.
And just how did you think he was getting to Jersey?
He's going to Jersey?
Everything is legal in New Jersey.
When the kids say Fran said no, That's the big robot saying, "Danger, Will Robinson!"
My dad and I always quote Aladdin when the genie, when he's like, warning, mayday, mayday, pull up, pull up.
Children are like a brazier.
One part of me says, get out the window, quick. But the other part just has to know why.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
They divide and separate. Your mother never told you that?
No, but we always thought Mummy should have talked more about her underwear.
Yeah, I think Mom talking about her underwear is like a whole separate category in therapy.
Do you smell cheese?
Oh, that's Kyle.
You can smell him through the door? That kid has too much cheese.
Hello, I'm Peter Bidwell. I'll be driving the boys to the mall.
Oh God, he's got the preppy sweater draped over the shoulders thing. I already hate this kid.
Okay, where'd they dig you up from?
The Gap.
Yeah, you do look very Gap.
Brighton, you are grounded. And furthermore, you're not going to the show tonight.
Oh.
He's like, aw, damn.
Mr. Sheffield. I think you're being just a little too severe.
Her hair's so big because it stores all the extra brain cells for the 8D chess she's playing.
Wait a minute, are the busboys on strike?
And here we go. After their play about union workers, she realizes that the restaurant they're going to, the busboys are all on strike.
Oh my God. Those poor people. Who's gonna clear their tables?
Ah, yes, here we see live footage of a streaming service executive giving off the same energy as Bob Iger when he said, "Oh, well, there's just no money in the industry right now. We're still recovering from COVID. We just can't pay people what they deserve." I say we cut Bob Iger's salary. It's incredibly too much money.
Mr. Sheffield, I can't go in there. My mother had 3 rules. Never make contact with a public toilet. Never, ever, ever cross a picket line.
Those first 2 rules are great. What is the 3rd rule?
Never wear musk oil to the zoo.
That one's fair too.
Please, put you.
Good for her. He tries to force her in the door, and look at that. They're on the page. She just made a bigger statement than she wanted to.
Niles, boy, did I ruin Mr. Sheffield's big night last night.
Ooh, I love her bathrobe. That looks very comfy. Uh-oh.
And if that fails, I can always turn on the tears.
You don't want to see the picture, sir. It's fine.
Miss Fine! How could you do this to me?
Well, in my defense, sir, you're a scab.
Well, I'm sorry, but the fines don't cross picket lines.
Fines don't cross picket lines. I love that. I want that on a shirt.
Well, you don't understand anything.
Oh, I understand a lot more than you think.
You can't make that play after he knows the play. He read the playbook. You read him the playbook.
I'm a working stiff just like the next guy. Oh, Niles, what is this on my shoe?
Oh my God, I love you so much, Mr. Sheffield, but Jesus Christ. You remember when Mitt Romney said corporations are people too?
But I have a play date with Ivanka Trump.
Oh, that aged poorly.
You are never gonna believe what happened.
There was a message on your answering machine.
Oh my God, Niles is ruthless.
Sally Jesse Raphael wants us on her show today.
So Cece and Mr. Sheffield go on a talk show to try to make Fran look crazy for supporting a union.
Isn't it ironic that you are producing a play that is pro-union? You were photographed dragging an employee across the picket line.
Yes, that is ironic. It's so ironic it's one of the extra verses in Alanis Morissette's song if she puts out a 10-minute version of it.
I wonder how much it would cost to get that framed.
I want it framed.
That Norma employs nearly 300 union members.
Okay, but that's not like something that you're doing to support the union. They are unionized cast and crew, so they have to be union. Like, you have to employ the union. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, look, my name's on TV.
Yay!
Why don't you join them on stage?
Oh,
I love this fit she's got going on. It's like Cruella de Vil meets Beetlejuice.
I thought we were supposed to back each other up no matter what.
oh, so I'm just supposed to play along with everything you say?
They're already fighting like a married couple. And they're not even together yet at this point. What I do love about them as a couple, spoiler alert, they end up being a couple. What I love about them is that they're kind of like a Chandler and Monica couple, where they make each other better because they don't take each other's shit. It's mostly Mr. Sheffield that has the getting better to do, but you know.
Well, I suppose I maybe might.
I missed that, Sally. You're gonna have to send me a transcript.
Frame that next to the picture.
Didn't you hear what the man just said? He said you're important to him.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Now this feels like daytime TV.
If we were running the world, there'd be no wars.
I want to agree with you, Fran, but North Korea had a pretty foreboding woman in charge for a second there.
Because there'll be so much bloody talk, there'll be no time for war. Isn't that true, gentlemen?
Sir, this is daytime TV. There are no men here.
Seems our appearance shamed the hotel into settling with the busboys.
So we find out that because of them going on the TV show, the hotel where the busboys were striking felt shamed into accepting their deal. So that's good.
And all they really needed was to be treated with a little human dignity.
I thought you'd like that. They settled for $8 an hour.
What?
There's a joke about how they think $8 an hour is too much money. Actually, the joke, because again, this is a very pro-union episode, because of Fran Drescher. I believe the joke is that she's not being very dignified here. And we're not really supposed to agree with the sentiment. But, you know.
You should only walk a mile in my shoes.
Miss Vine, you can't walk a mile in your shoes.
Yeah, because walking in heels is terrible. Abolish heels.
Oh, Sally is very classy. The way she handled those bisexual Siamese twins.
Are we allowed to say that? Not bisexual, the other thing.
Geraldo really sensationalized it.
God, daytime TV is terrible. And with that, the episode ends. I hadn't seen that one yet. But in case you've been seeing the clips circulating around on the internet, I wanted to make sure that you got the full coverage of the full episode. And yeah, I think it's just really important, not just to me as somebody who worked on set for years and saw firsthand the way that giant studios can exploit the actors and the crew and the writers and literally everybody who isn't them to make the most amount of money. Like, I've been there. I've told tons of horror stories on set. Gabe and I love to tell stories. On the podcast, Gabe and I and Natasha, when she was here, we all had horror stories of things that happened to us on set. And obviously, we loved what we did and we had good times too. But like, when the higher-ups are so greedy that it doesn't even feel like your life as a human being is being valued, that's not good. And I think we should all be supporting people who are risking their livelihood and putting on hold doing the thing that they love for justice from their employers. So yeah, that's something that was just really heavy on my mind today, and I really wanted to talk about it. So here we are, and again, now that we've gotten an official instruction to steer clear of posting about any summer movies, I definitely had a couple of things that were going to kind of not tie in, but just like while things were in the zeitgeist, I was just gonna talk about it while we were all talking about it. And obviously that's not like meant to be any kind of promotion, but just to be abundantly safe, just because I want to follow the union's rules and support them as much as possible. Those projects will be put on hold until we get the strike settled. So I know you guys will have to see different bullshit videos from me. What are you going to do? But like, you know, it's the very least I can do, but I just want to do what I can. So if you as a consumer want to know how you can help follow the unions, follow SAG, follow the Writers Guild, they are promoting rescue funds to make sure that the workers who are on strike are having their basic needs met while they're out of a job. Really just stay informed. But again, as of right now, and we don't know what's going to happen in the future, but as of right now, you're not being asked to boycott any movies or cancel any subscriptions or anything like that. It's actually important that we show Hollywood that art, media is not something that can be made by AI, and it's not something that deserves to be underpaid. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing. Everything you do to support this channel means the world to me. If you're new here and you're a fan of nonsense, maybe consider sticking around because I post nonsense all the time. And remember, my name is Avery. I'm a YouTuber, you say so, because thanks to you guys, this is technically a YouTube channel. Bye.